Hello guys and welcome. I hope that you're having a good day or good morning or good evening. My name is I play 4K, aka I play 8K, aka I play 16K or UHD King. During this video today I'm going to show you Star Wars Battlefront II PC game running on 8K resolution, guys. In 8K resolution, rendered in real time on 8K resolution native screen on a single Titan RTX video card that is equipped with 24 GB of VRAM, NVIDIA Turing GPU architecture, TU102 GPU, and old school Xeon E5-2697 V2 CPU. That is the enterprise CPU from 2013. This is the video from my workstation from 2020. This is workstation 2020. And before I'm going to wrap it up with this workstation and build myself a new workstation at least 2 times more powerful with 2 Xeon's E5-2699 V3 CPUs on a Chinese motherboard, hopefully with a high hacked bias, overclocked from 2.3 GHz per CPU to 3.4 GHz in workstation tasks and 3.6 GHz in the PC gaming. But before that, let's go ahead and have a look over here, shall we? Let's go ahead and have a look on the E5-2697 V2 CPU, hacked a little bit as well, pretty much overclocked. Only 200 megahertz additional from stock, so instead of 3000 megahertz it's running 3.2 gigahertz. And I'm going to show you all kind of different presets in 8K resolution. I'm running right now borderless. Somehow this game kind of weird when you're running full screen 8K resolution, but it doesn't matter. Windows 10 operating system that I'm using today pretty much is using direct 3D surface as workstation as desktop. Okay, so it's using direct 3D workstation, direct 3D surface in the game and direct 3D surface as in the desktop, so it doesn't matter. It's not like Windows XP that did lose a lot of FPS. So I'm going to show you guys DirectX 12 API and DirectX 11 API. We're going to start with DirectX 11 API. 4 different presets under DirectX 11 API, and then I'm going to switch DirectX 12 API. And just going to show you guys that it is possible to play on workstation on a CPU from 2013 PC games, not only doing the workstation tasks but playing some games as well. So this video will be dedicated to low budget folks. If you're looking to build a great low budget system and focus as workstation but sometimes PC gaming, this is going to be a great video for you to watch. Okay, so let's go ahead and get going. I set to ultra preset. I'm going to go ahead and load up the game. Let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to use single player, instant action. Everything will be maxed out. As you can see, supremacy mode, Naboo location, and maxed out, so emulated the multiplayer experience as maximum possible presets. Let's go ahead and get going. At the right top corner I have display information system, updated every second. It is correct, precise information system. Keep that in mind, and yeah, let's go ahead and have a look. The purpose of this video is not the gameplay. This is my 3rd time I'm going to play this game. The purpose of this video is a benchmark. So I will try to run 2 Titan RTXs and SLI in this game on this workstation and test it under DirectX 11 API. So this is why I decided to show you 2 APIs, DirectX 12 and DirectX 11 API under the 8K resolution. And we're going to see what kind of boost we will receive with 2 Titan RTXs under DirectX 11 API. Okay, because this game supports SLI. Okay. So the purpose of this video is benchmark, so we can compare the results with the future PC gaming systems with the different CPUs and different GPUs as well. I'm running today 12 cores, 12 physical cores and 12 physical threads, so I disabled the hyper-threading technology on this CPU in the BIOS just to eliminate any latency delay and receive the fastest possible FPS in a PC game, because hyper-threading technology on this particular CPU is 3.7 times slower than physical core, physical thread. Keep that in mind. So those threads from hyper-threading technology is 3.7 times slower than the physical cores, and than a single physical core on this CPU and on this particular CPU. And this CPU will be equal to 4 gen of the Intel Core i7 or i7 in gaming world. Keep that in mind. Core per core, frequency per frequency. So this is pretty much the performance similar to 4 gen Intel Core i CPUs, but this is enterprise CPU with a very high level of the third shared cache. In the end of this video, I'm going to show you the CPU Z, GPU Z, MSI Afterburner, IDA 64 benchmark. So we're going to talk more about the PC hardware. But have a look, guys. 99% of GPU utilization, excellent GPU utilization at the right top. Average FPS is 26 FPS. Keep in mind that today I'm recording this video with NVIDIA Shadowplay software running on the same computer. So please add 3 FPS to the FPS counter. This is exactly how much FPS is lost during the recording, so it's taxing some performance, using some resources while it's recording, and it's exactly 3 FPS. So without the recording, it's going to be 3 FPS higher than you can see right now during this video demonstration. Alright, let's get this dude, This dude is dangerous. He's coming after me, oh my god, he's coming. He got me. Houston, he got me. Look at that VRAM utilization, almost 20,000 megabytes, which is 20 gigabytes. The Titan RTX is equipped with 24 gigabytes of VRAM, so total VRAM utilization can go above 24,000 megabytes. Will be like 24,600 megabytes, something like that. My total system RAM utilization that I can use today will be 32,000 megabytes or 32 gigabytes. It's running DDR3, 4 sticks, 8 gigabytes in quad channel mode, which is 256-bit. I'm using the 1866 megahertz DDR3 Crucial Ballistics Elite that can be overclocked to 2100 megahertz stable. CL9, but on this particular CPU, Xeon E5-2697 V2, on this motherboard, which is Gigabyte X79 UHD version 1.1 with the Gigabyte F20 BIOS, the only BIOS that's capable to run this CPU on this gaming motherboard, because this is the gaming overclocking motherboard, it's not the server motherboard, but it allows us to overclock this CPU further and receive higher performance that is going to deliver on a gaming motherboard in a PC gaming, on a server motherboard, sorry, in PC gaming. So our motherboard delivering higher FPS because I'm using the gaming motherboard, and we overclock our CPU 200 megahertz additional, so it's maybe 1-2 FPS higher than on a server motherboard. Keep that in mind. Look at this, guys, 28 FPS, and without the recording it's going to be 30 FPS at 8K resolution on a single Titan RTX running ultra preset. Wow, let me show it to you again. This is unbelievable. This is how we are rocking. DirectX 11 APIs again. So 30 FPS average. Titan RTX right now is overclocked. So let me show you the performance boost on the Titan RTX. Pretty much 10% extra, but let me show it to you. So 31 FPS, right? I'm going to go. Oops, I'm going to go to MSI Afterburner. I'm in the window mode. So MSI Afterburner, and let me zoom in to show it to you. So it's overclocked right now, plus 100 megahertz additional on the GPU, and plus 1000 megahertz additional on the VRAM. For GDDR6 it's going to be 2000 megahertz additional. So instead of 14,000 megahertz, I'm running 16,000 megahertz. Okay, and right now I'm going to show you stock. Okay, this is the stock. Let's get back to the game, zoom out. So as you can see, we lost 2 FPS. So like I told you, 10% of the performance boost for free through the software overclock that I'm considering home safe environment. overclock. But as again, if you're going to follow it, you're doing it on your own risk and expenses. Nobody going to replace you or compensate you if something going to go wrong. So let me get back. So from 28 we're gonna get back to 30 FPS when I'm going to apply the same settings that you just saw in a second. Here we go. I just applied them, immediately went back to 29, 30 FPS. Excellent. So 10% performance boost. So pretty much it's always delivering 10% performance boost. Keep that in mind. That guy looked like going to get me in a second. Maybe not. Maybe I'm going to escape. Nope. He's gonna get me. The game looks amazing, guys, in 8K resolution. It's just like wow. Even when you're going to compare it at 4K resolution versus the 8K resolution, it's like wow. This particular game is wow. The level of the details of the models, they feels at 8K resolution like it's higher polygons count into the 3D model, even if it's not. But it's not the psychological feeling to it. It is lookish like that. It's lookish, everything lookish on another level. That level of details, like it feels like the game completely higher polygons count. Every single 3D meshes here, every single 3D model, but it's not. But it feels so, and it's just unbelievable, guys. The visuals. So this is ultra preset. In a second I'm going to show you the preset that I would play it with, which will be still ultra preset, but a little bit lighter settings. Hopefully we're going to boost up in terms of our FPS. Let's go ahead and have a look real quick. So this is how I would play it, guys. I'm going to still keep at ultra preset, but go to custom, turn down the anti-aliasing to low. We cannot turn down completely anti-aliasing in this particular game, which is the Star Wars Battlefront II, and turn down the ambient inclusion. Ambient inclusion taxing a lot of Turing GPU architecture. So hopefully, oh Jesus, that guy just, what are you doing, buddy? Just doing the grenades on yourself or what? 38 FPS, immediately boost up. 30, wow, guys. This is with the recording. Without it, it's going to be about 40. And this is ultra preset only about without the ambient inclusion. And what is the ambient inclusion? Pretty much it's on the edges of the 3D model. Every single edge, it's going to create the darker side and the lighter side, like emulating the light on every single edge of the 3D model. The 3D model is based on edges, vertices, and polygons. Okay, this is how the 3D basics of the 3D, and on every single edge of that, it's just emulating that effect. As again, the purpose of this video is not about the gameplay. This is my third time playing that, but the demonstration of the performance of the Turing GPU architecture flagship, such as Titan RTX video card, which is 256 CUDA cores or 256 shader cores higher than RTX 2080 Ti, and RTX 2080 Ti only featuring 11,428 megabytes, and as if I'm not mistaken, and Titan RTX is featuring double of that. So RTX 2080 Ti couldn't be able to run this game today at 8K resolution because it would be a VRAM overload, and because our VRAM utilization is almost 19,000 megabytes right now, which is 19 gigabytes, keep that in mind. We still have like 5 gigabytes to go, and I believe that we're using the healthy VRAM utilization. We are not offloading any data from the VRAM into the system RAM due to the VRAM overload. But keep your eye when I'm going to switch to a lower presets if my system RAM utilization will drop by a lot. If it's going to drop by a lot when I'm going to switch to low preset, that means that we still offloading some data from the VRAM look like. There is a possibility. And offloading data in NVIDIA driver starts, oops, let me try to escape, starts before it's reaching 24,000 megabytes. The driver is predicts, and it's starting like in around like 22,000 megabytes, just in case, because AI doesn't know when it's going to overload the VRAM, so it's offloading before it's reaching its limits. So just to be safe, and you know, offload the data before it's going to overload the VRAM and crash the game. Hopefully this makes sense, guys. This is unbelievable. The game looks amazing. I cannot wait to play this game with 2 Titan RTXs and SLI, as again under DirectX 11 API it's possible on the Titan RTXs, and performance should be 1.9 times faster that you can see right now. So pretty much we're going to run around 70 FPS on average, and that's going to be amazing. Above 60 FPS 8K resolution in this game with the 2 Titan RTXs and SLI. As again, this is based on my theory, but most likely it's going to be correct because my theory is based on precise calculations. I do not base my theories on something that's not equal to mathematically. Wow. But we're going to find out, guys. On this system I'm going to show you 2 Titan RTXs on this workstation from 2020, my workstation, and on this CPU from 2013 I'm going to show you 2 Titan RTXs. And keep in mind that my CPU utilization is above 20%. That means that I cannot run 3 cores, 3 threads, otherwise I'm probably going to bottleneck the FPS through the CPU cores, and I don't want to do that. I want to have that healthy CPU cores availability for our video card, and we have the healthy CPU cores. We are below 50%, but we are above 40%. That means that 4 core 4 threads, when the CPU will use the higher multiplier automatically using the Intel Turbo Boost technology, will be not enough, and we're going to bottleneck our FPS through the CPU core bottlenecking. Hopefully, guys, this makes sense. And I want to do that because otherwise we're not going to show the healthy FPS. So that's why I'm using 12 cores and 12 threads, but those cores are physical. Keep that in mind. And I'm not using the hyper-threading technology because I want to show the lowest possible latency delay, and hyper-threading technology will lower actually the FPS, because as again, hyper-threading cores is 3.7 times slower than physical cores, and I'm pretty sure it's going to lower our FPS, or at least not going to boost up in terms of the FPS. Hopefully this makes sense. So guys, I showed you the ultra preset. Let me show you how I would play it now. So still using, this is actually how I would play it now. Alright, so I show you ultra and custom, and let me real quick go ahead and show you the medium, and then I'm going to show you low, and then I'm going to switch to DirectX 12. But when I'm going to switch to DirectX 12 API, I'm going to shut down the NVIDIA Shadow Play recording. I'm going to restart the game because it's required to restart the game. So I'm going to combine those 2 videos into one video, but I'm not going to edit this video at all. I'm just going to combine those 2 video files into one video file and upload it for you on YouTube. I'm going to use FFmpeg++ application that I'm developing right now, that I'm currently developing right now. It's going to be based on FFmpeg developer library, but my FFmpeg++ application will be for front-end users, and it's going to encode videos all the way to 16K resolution. It's going to be the world's first video application that's capable to edit videos and encode videos all the way to 16K resolution. I'm using my application on my YouTube channel since May, and I'm transcoding a lot of videos that I'm recording in 8K resolution to lower file size 8K resolution videos before I'm uploading them to YouTube, but the quality is almost the same. This type of UHD King profile will be available, guys, in my FFmpeg++ application for you to use as well. The quality is the same, the file size 2 times smaller, which is amazing. And I'm recording today with NVIDIA Shadow Play software, and this NVIDIA Shadow Play software is hacked, so it's recording in 8K resolution as well. It's hacked through the system RAM debugging tool during the runtime, and width and height of the video container is replaced to 7680 pixels by 4000 by Yeah, by 4320 pixels. Sorry, I'm just had in mind 16K resolution somehow. I'm like, can we run this game in 16K resolution? Probably not, because the VRAM utilization is very high. I don't think so, but there is a possibility that we can run this game 10K resolution on 2 Titan RTXs and SLI with the great FPS, at least playable FPS, and maybe it's going to be runnable in 12K resolution, such as 3 8K resolution monitor, 12,960 by 7,680 pixels, when the 8K resolution width is as our height of those monitors. And if it will be possible, I'm going to upload those 2 videos, guys, for you over the UHDking.com YouTube channel. You don't want to miss it. But look like, based on our VRAM utilization, most likely it's not going to be runnable in 16K resolution, because 16K resolution probably going to overload our VRAM dramatically, because 8K resolution almost, as you can see, almost 18,000 megabytes, which is 18 gigabytes. I can assume that 16K resolution will be at least double of that, and means that, nope, it's going to be around 32 gigs of VRAM utilization at least. And even at that type of scenario, most likely we're going to overload some data from the VRAM into the system RAM. But we're going to find out when I'm going to show you 10K resolution and 12K resolution, such as 3 8K resolution monitors. I cannot wait it myself to test it. So I cannot wait myself to test it. So we're going to find out, guys. So beautiful, guys. Beautiful FPS, as you can see. GPU utilization 98-99%, exactly how we want it. We want to have it as high as possible. And CPU utilization below 50% means that healthy CPU utilization. So we are not bottlenecking the FPS through the CPU cores, and you can only bottleneck your FPS through the CPU cores. You cannot bottleneck your FPS through the CPU frequencies. Everybody knows that higher CPU frequencies, the higher FPS, but there is no such a bottleneck. It's just going to produce higher FPS, okay? But when the CPU core is not enough, it's bottlenecking your FPS by a lot. So low preset now. Let's go ahead and have a look. You want to keep your eyes, guys, at the right top corner, as again, I'm playing and I'm keeping my eye at the right top corner. At the same time, I'm coming in real time, so it's kind of hard to do so. So don't forget to smash that like button, and look like it's going to be the first video of the Star Wars Battlefront 2 in 8K resolution, because there is no such a video card allow us to run it before the Titan RTX. Because the Titan RTX is the first NVIDIA video card, a gaming video card, that is featuring above 12 gigabytes of the VRAM. Previous Titan XP's Pascal GPU architecture or Titan X Maxwell GPU architecture was featuring only 12 gigabyte of VRAM, and as you can see, 12 gigabyte of VRAM is not going to be enough. And I believe that NVIDIA driver has the maximum 5 gigabytes of the VRAM available to offload from the VRAM data to the system RAM, and when it goes above 5 gigabytes, the game will crash. The direct 3D surface will crash. You're not going to offload above 5 gigabytes. At least this is what I find out while I was testing a lot of games in 8K resolution and above on the Titan RTX video cards. Okay, beautiful, guys. You saw it. Let's go ahead and click play it again real quick. I'm just going to show you a little bit longer that low preset, but as you can see, this low preset has the lower radius of the preloading of those 3D meshes or 3D models on the level, and you can see when the 3D model is preloading at low preset. So it's not kind of enjoyable experience if you into cinematic, because as you can see, stones are preloading and such when you're playing low preset. But this is not just because it's 8K resolution, it's just a low preset. It does the same thing at 4K resolution and 1080p, keep that in mind. Low preset has the lower radius of the preloading details, level of details. Ultra preset doesn't have it. But anyways, 60 FPS while I'm recording with NVIDIA Shadowplay. So it's above 60 FPS without the NVIDIA Shadowplay recording. To be exact, 3 FPS higher than that. But this is unbelievable. And Titan RTX right now, of course, is overclocked, as I show it to you. cannot wait to test it with the two Titan RTXs. I think at low preset, two Titan RTXs under DirectX 11 API and SLI mode will show us around 110 FPS. And this is going to be amazing. Look at these visuals. This game, even at low preset, looks amazing, except the preloading. Preloading details are not that fine. And the textures is a little bit bluey, but when you're playing 8K resolution and above, even when the texture are bluey, the pixel density is so high that they don't look like so bluey. Let me show you to see that? The details are still here because the pixel density is such a great. It's loading every single texture. And pretty much it looks like at low details 8K resolution, it looks like ultra at 4K resolution, except for this particular game, except the preloading details, that level of details, that radius at ultra will be of course higher than that. Alright, I show you that. Let me go ahead and quit it, and now I'm going to go ahead guys and switch to DirectX 12 API, and we're going to test it under DirectX 12 API to find out what's going on. And I'm going to stop the recording. I'm going to switch to DirectX 12 API. I'm going to restart the game, and I will see you guys in a second. Okay, it's still, wow, look at this. Here we go. Alright, alright guys, we are back. I just restarted the game. And if I'm not mistaken, DirectX 12 API is actually going to use more VRAM, but we're going to find, yep, it is. Even in the menu, almost 20,000 megabytes. Okay. Hopefully guys you grab this game for free. If you're my subscriber since 2020, you'll receive a message when I provide you the instructions how you can get this game for free. It was 7 days period when the Epic Game Store was giving away these games for free, and I reported to you. Hopefully you picked up a free license for this game and having it right now for free. It's a great game, great visuals, and a lot of people still playing this game online. So low preset, 8K resolution, 7680 pixels by 4320 pixels, DirectX 12 API. Let's go ahead and have a look. Same kind of scenarios, single player, instant action, maxed out, so a lot of actions going on. So emulations as server full when you're going to play multiplayer online mode. And yeah, let's go ahead and have a look. This game has a single player storyline, this game has a multiplayer. This game is great. It's pretty much lookish like a Battlefield, and I believe it's based on the Frostbite game engine, but it requires a lot of CPU cores guys, especially if you're playing 1080p or 1440p. Doesn't require that much under the 8K resolution, but still requires a lot of CPU cores under the 4K resolution. So as you can see, low preset, we can still see that radius is kind of ugly. The level of details are not, the radius level of details is kind of short. Look at this, the FPS is still great, but lower FPS. So DirectX 12 API actually generating lower FPS. Under DirectX 11 we were showing 60. Under DirectX 12 API we are 50 average, so 10 FPS shorter in this particular game. And a lot of games under DirectX 12 API are showing a lower FPS. And in this particular game that doesn't feature the RT feature of the DirectX 12 API, I'm not advising you to play this game if you're having the low-end video cards, or if you want to boost up your FPS under DirectX 12 API, because it's pretty much waste of resources, and your FPS will be lowered, because DirectX 12 API doesn't have any benefits over DirectX 11 API if you're not using the ray tracing. Okay, but if you don't have a great video card under DirectX 12 API, maybe make a sense, because it's going to utilize higher, it's going to utilize more of your CPU. Okay, while DirectX 11 are utilizing a lot of your GPU and less of your CPU. But for the highest possible FPS in PC games, you want to utilize your GPU more than CPU. Okay, So DirectX 12 API is pretty much going to be beneficial for the folks with the lower, with the slower computers when the video card is not that great. But in our case, it's not the beneficial scenario for us. But I decided to show you DirectX 12 API anyways. And as again, I showed you DirectX 11 API because we're going to test this game in SLI. Alright, let's go ahead and show them who's the boss with a machine gun. I can see there is a lot of come on. The visuals are great, guys. Please watch this video in 8K resolution. Just switch to 8K resolution through your YouTube player. As again, I'm recording 8K resolution native, so it's going to be great with NVIDIA Shadowplay that was hacked. Goodbye. Here we go. We killed this dude. Yeah, there's a lot of fun in this game in 8K resolution. If you're gonna have the playable FPS, such as above 60 FPS, this game is amazing, guys. And this is exactly what two Titan RTXs will deliver to us, not under DirectX 12 API mode, but under DirectX 11 mode, for sure. Low preset, not bad, not bad, not bad at all. Alright, who wants some machine gun? There's a lot of action going on. This is full server, as you can see, with maximum possible loaded details, such as maximum amount of players, things, and all of this goodies. Alright, right there, right there, right there. This guy wants some. Here we go. Wow, I'm getting better and better in this game, day by day, but this is my third time, guys, as again playing this game, and I'm really liking it. It's a great, the game has a great visual though. Visuals are amazing in this game. And if you're in Battlefield, as again Battlefield series games, you're going to enjoy this game. Alright, look at this level of details of this character. It's just unbelievable. Because you didn't see this aliasing on the edges of the 3D model. It feels like it's higher polygons count model, but it's not. It's just psychological feeling. But it doesn't look like psychological feeling. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. When you're playing 8K resolution versus 4K resolution, it's just unbelievable how detailed the models, 3D meshes of the characters. So, alright. So low was like that. Let's go ahead and have a look at medium. We don't have the full day, and then I'm going to show you the ultra, and in the end of this video a little bit of information about the computer specs, and we're going to wrap it up. Okay, alright, okay. Medium preset. Still, as you can see, the radius is not that long, and it's short radius preloading of the level of details, but the texture is now going to get on another level, and we have some more details like particles with the longer life cycle, etc. at medium versus the low. Above 30 FPS, unbelievable, guys. Without the recording, it's going to be 40 FPS average at medium in this game. Look at this. It's just unbelievable looking game. Single Titan RTX video card, an old school CPU from 2013. My gaming rig, my gaming PC from 2020, not the workstation from 2020, but gaming rig, gaming PC from 2020 with i9 9900K, overclocked at 5.3 GHz over here will show 15% at least boost in terms of the FPS. This is in theory But as again, my theory based on mathematical approaches, so hopefully this is how it's going to be. So the FPS over here on i9-9900K at 5.3 gigahertz probably will be around 50, because that CPU is 2000 megahertz higher frequency per frequency, and 5 generation advanced by 5 more generation, and means that newer generation is minimum 3% of boost in terms of the CPU computing, 3%. So times 5, 15, and 2000 megahertz and above, I think additional 5% probably of boost. So total 15% of the boost should be healthy boost in terms of the FPS. So I'm assuming the i9-9900K over here will show at least 45 FPS, 45, something like that, 20 FPS boost. With the same Titan RTX video card though. With the better video card even higher than that. So RTX 3090 over here probably will show us also 45 FPS. It's like 1.6, 1.7 times faster than Titan RTX. And only the video card that will allow us to play the Star Wars Battlefront II in 2021 will be RTX 3090 or Titan RTX, because RTX 2080 Ti almost similar GPU as Titan RTX, 256 CUDA core less than Titan RTX, but it doesn't have enough VRAM to run this game, and I don't think that NVIDIA driver will be able to offload this. As you can see, 22,000, 23,000 megabytes of VRAM usage. I don't think that NVIDIA driver will be able to offload 10 gigabytes of VRAM data from the VRAM into the system RAM. I think it's just going to crash, or it's not going to run, or it's going to crash with the message that sorry, but I don't think so. Look at this, almost 23,000 megabytes or 23 gigabytes of VRAM utilization. As again, VRAM stands for video RAM for those newcomers. System RAM utilization the same as you saw. So I think that VRAM utilization is healthy, guys. So we don't need video card above 24 gigabytes to be able to run this game at 8K resolution. And this game is very heavy, as you can see. I believe that it's using the game engine as close as the Battlefield 5 is using, that heavy game engine that requires a lot of CPU cores and utilizing your VRAM like crazy. Wow, medium 34 average. So let's say medium preset 8K resolution on the system will be 35 average with the recording. Without the recording, almost 40 FPS average. Amazing, amazing, guys. Let's go ahead and switch it. So medium preset, I'm going to switch to ultra now, and hopefully it's not going to overload our VRAM. But let's go ahead and have a look. So as you can see, DirectX 12 definitely utilizing more VRAM. There is no questions about it. Almost 24,000 megabytes is utilized, and we can see that it jumped from 12,000 megabytes of our system RAM utilization all the way to almost 15,000 megabytes. So we are offloading right now at least 2,000 megabytes from VRAM into the system RAM. So right now I can state that it's not healthy VRAM utilization, and it's offloading at least 2,000 megabytes, and it's starting way before 24,000 megabytes is reached, because AI doesn't know when you're going to overload your VRAM, so it's trying to make sure that it's not going to happen. So it's starting, I believe, before the 23,000 megabytes, just in case, so it's not going to overload your VRAM and the game is not going to crash. And I believe that NVIDIA driver can offload maximum 5 gigabytes before the game will crash. This based on my experience throughout the 8K resolution gameplays and above 8K resolution gameplays on the Titan RTX. This is what I find out, guys. I tested like a lot of games, and this type of scenario was in 99% of the games. This type of theory. Wow, it's just wow, guys. Who wants some machine gun? Beautiful visuals, a lot of volumetric particles right there going on, as you can see, and FPS is amazing. 21 though, it's lower to 21 FPS, so right now it's not comfortable at all, but it's still playable, but pretty much it's benchable status. To play like this, it's kind of hardcore, guys. It's not enjoyable experience, but as again, the purpose of this video is to benchmark it so we can compare it, plus we can compare it with under DirectX 11 API with 2 Titan RTXs and see what's going on there. Yeah, DirectX 12 API definitely consumes unbelievable amount. Oh, he's gonna kill me. Nope. Alright, well, I'm on top. That's good. You can take advantage of that. Look at this. Who wants a machine gun? Show yourself. Oh, look at this. This dude wants some. Look at this. Volumetric particles and stuff going on. It's still 23, 21 FPS at ultra. And I'm about to show you how I would play it, like my ultra preset. But with kind of anti-aliasing at low as again, and ambient inclusion is off. Probably we're going to show here 30 FPS. Let's go ahead and have a look. Let me set it up. And we're going to wrap up after this point. Alright, wow, this is unbelievable, guys. I think this is one of the first videos of 8K resolution gameplay in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Believe me. Let's go ahead and Google it and find out. Or maybe the first one. So, as again, anti-aliasing low and ambient inclusion is off. Ambient inclusion taxing a lot of performance on Turing GPU architecture. While anti-aliasing takes about a couple FPS, ambient inclusion sometimes takes 15%, 15-20%. So while tuning down the ambient inclusion, you can gain a lot of FPS, and indeed we did, 35 FPS. Wow, 33 FPS, 8K resolution. Ultra preset, everything maxed out except no anti-aliasing, which we don't need any anti-aliasing for 8K resolution anyways. But this is just unbelievable, guys. Alright, time to die, buddy. Oops. Look how detailed the model right there. It's like so cinematic, guys. Unfortunately, over here at this type of ultra preset on the DirectX 12 API, it's not as comfortable as it was under the DirectX 11 API somehow. Keep that in mind. No, 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 we don't want to die. No. So pretty much, you know, if you have low FPS or not enough FPS, the best way you want to avoid DirectX 12 and try DirectX 11, because especially in this particular game for sure, because DirectX 12 API doesn't give you any benefits at all. It doesn't have the RT, ray tracing technology is not featured yet. This game was released before the Nvidia and Microsoft came up with ray tracing technology available to the public. And DirectX 12 API utilizing higher amount of system RAM and VRAM, as you saw, and it's also utilizing higher amount of the CPU. Come on! Oh no, 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 no. You want some machine gun, I think. Look at you, buddy. It shows, guys, 30 FPS, but it doesn't feel somehow as 30 FPS under DirectX 12, but it did under DirectX 11. It's kind of giving you that kind of slow-mo effect a little bit. I'm not sure how you call it. Like the same thing like it was like a lot of games that was running 4-way Titan X Maxwell GPU architecture under the 8K resolution. It was giving you that kind of, it's not a stuttering, but it's kind of that kind of slow-mo effect when FPS doesn't feel like FPS that it shows. Anyways, excellent GPU utilization. VRAM was offloaded during the ultra preset. Okay, and yeah, that's it. I showed you guys everything what you need to know. Let me quit that. Oh, okay, let me quit the game, and I'm going to show you what kind of hardware I was running today, a little bit of details about it, and we're going to wrap up. Don't forget to smash that like button, guys. A lot of time, money, energy was invested. I just woke up, and before brushing my teeth and taking a shower, I decided to go ahead and record the beautiful videos for you in 8K resolution. This is going to be a second 8K resolution video today. I already recorded in NIFA Speed NIFA Speed 15 that was released in 2016. You don't want to miss it. But anyways, let me real quick go ahead and explain to you. As you can see, my desktop is also set to 8K resolution, 100% scale. This is very important. Alright, so this is the system, guys. 12 core, 12 threads. Hyper-threading technology is disabled under the BIOS. 30 megabytes level 3rd cache shared between the CPU cores. The core speed was running 3.2 gigahertz or 3200 megahertz, but Intel stock frequency will be 3000 megahertz or 3 gigahertz per 12 core 12 threads or 12 core 24 threads. So we overclock our CPU additional by 200 megahertz. How I achieve that? I pretty much overclock the bus speed because the multiplier is locked and controlled by the Intel and motherboard BIOS, and it's not manipulatable. Keep that in mind. So I overclock additional 6 megahertz on our BCLK bus speed, as you can see. So from 100 megahertz it's 106. So 106 times 30, it's exactly 3179 megahertz or 3200 megahertz or 3.2 gigahertz. And this is what's up. 16X PCI Express on this motherboard. I can run 2 Titan RTXs under the 16X. PCI Express 3.0. I cannot wait to do that with 2 Titan RTXs in 8K resolution and above, and to see if it's going to give us any advantage, because nobody tested PCI Express 3.0 8X versus PCI Express 3.0 16X in 8K resolution and above. And I think the difference between those two different technologies and lanes, same technologies, PCI Express 3.0, but 8 lanes versus 16 lanes will be the bandwidth. 16X gonna give you the higher bandwidth, and I think maybe above 8K resolution or even at 8K resolution it's going to benefit us. But we're going to find out, guys. As you can see, I was running with this motherboard with F20 BIOS because this is the only BIOS by Gigabyte that's supporting this CPU. Otherwise, the CPU is not going to post. This was the flagship CPU from 2013 when it was released, and it has that a lot of CPU cores that is not recognizable by this BIOS. Only with F20 BIOS will be recognizable, but any other BIOSes not will be recognizable. And what kind of motherboard I'm using? Gigabyte X79 UD3, but version 1.1. There's two different motherboards, UD3, version 1.0 and version 1.1. This is version 1.1. I was running quad channel, 4 sticks, 8 gigabytes, DDR3. It was the Crucial Ballistics Elite, able to overclock to 1866 megahertz by the manufacturer, but by XMP, but it's unstable in this CPU, anything above 1412 megahertz. So this is the maximum possible stable frequency, which is 706 megahertz times 2, 1412 megahertz. CL7 though, very extreme latency delay, 1T command as well, and quad channel 256 bit. And believe me or not, the quad channel is as fast as DDR4 2133 at CL14. Same, even a little bit faster than 2133 megahertz at CL14 based on the IDA64 benchmark. In a second I will show it to you. This is how it was overclocked. As you can see, it was overclocked to 8000 megahertz on the GDDR6 memory, and CPU was overclocked additional by 100 megahertz. Without the overclock, it's going to be 7,000 megahertz, which is 14,000 megahertz. But with the overclock, it's 16,000 megahertz. Samsung, same type of memory that they're using on RTX 2080 Ti video card, but is again double of the amount, GDDR6. And look how beautiful it's scaling. 12 cores, 12 threads, scaling as multi-thread ratio above 12x. This is amazing scaling, and this CPU is scaling unbelievable well when you're going to turn on the hyper-threading technology. Unbelievable well. And this is how you're going to use it for the PC gaming scenarios to get the absolute amazing scaling. Alright guys? So 322 as single core performance, and this is the just 12 core, 12 threads as multi-thread performance. Okay? And let me also show you something real quick, guys. Let me open the IDA 64. 1 second. Let me open the IDA 64. I'm going to show you something before I will let you go. And this video, oops. Here we go. I'm going to say yes. This video today was recorded when? January 24th, 2021. Keep that in mind. 2021 8K resolution in this game. But I was the first YouTuber that showed you 16K resolution. The first YouTuber, 16K resolution. My first 16K resolution gameplay was uploaded back in the May of 2016. Available as a fact over the UHDking.com YouTube channel. So here we go, guys. Let me show you what's going to happen. Right now, when it's overclocked, my pixel fill rate is 179 gigapixels per second. My textual fill rate is 538 gigatexels per second. And my bandwidth is 768 gigabytes per second. Okay, let me bring it to the NVIDIA driver stock value. Boom. This is how it's running at stock, envisioned by NVIDIA, controlled by the driver. Check it out. Immediately, my pixel fill rate went down by 10 gigapixels, and my textual fill rate went down by 30 gigatexels, and my bandwidth went by 80 gigabytes per second. So you better overclock it, because when you overclock your GDDR6, you're getting almost as close as GDDR6X on the RTX 3090 running stock. A hair slower though, but very close to that. Okay, here we go, 7,000 megahertz on memory. Alright, let's go ahead and jumping over here. So latency, this is the value no matter how many cores or threads you're running on this CPU, they will be the same. This is very fast, by the way. When I'm running that DDR3 running 1130 megahertz, which will be the before the overclock in the DDR3, the value over here, latency delay on the memory, will be 102 nanoseconds. So we cut it by 50 nanoseconds. Okay, look at the unbelievable read, write, and copy value. This value is higher than DDR4 2133 megahertz CL14. Okay, very fast level 1 cache, level 2 cache, level 3 cache value, read, write, and copy. But as again, if I'm going to add additional hyper-threading technology, which is additional virtual 12 threads, it's going to be a little bit faster than that. Okay, and this is the IDA 64 benchmark running once Titan RTX was overclocked using the OpenCL API, so we can compare how the GPU, how the Titan RTX running versus the CPU. Okay, how this GPU TU102 by NVIDIA Turing GPU architecture running versus this CPU. And as again, the CPU getting a little bit faster when you're going to enable the hyper-threading technology, running 24 threads instead of 12 threads. But as again, it's no match to the TU102 Turing GPU architecture by NVIDIA GPU that is featuring on this Titan RTX, because anyways, a GPU will be always faster than CPU by about 5-6 times as minimum. Okay, and yeah, you saw everything what you need to see, guys. That's it. That's pretty much it. And on the background, this is the system that I was running. Taking this picture taken with my iPhone XR. Okay, it's cooled with the H100i RGB XT Pro cooler. I believe 3rd generation, because I own the 1st generation. I skip on 2nd one. This is single Titan RTX video card on this Gigabyte X79 DDR3 version 1.1 motherboard. And over here at the right top corner will be my gaming rig, which is the i9-9900K overclock at 5.3 GHz with the H150i Pro water cooler, which is 360mm, and H100i Pro RGB XT is pretty much the 240mm radiator. But that one will be 360mm centimeter radiator and will give you a little bit better cooling performance. Okay, that was my gaming rig from 2020, and this my workstation, as you saw today, my workstation for 2020. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, as again, enable that bell button so you're going to receive some great news from me. Sometimes I'm sharing some free games, and sometimes I even give away some games, so you're not going to miss any. And as again, I play 4K, aka I play 8K, aka I play 16K, or UHD Kingboard video. Have a great day. Stay safe till the next time.